Hello. I'm going to be talking today about the very thrilling world of library services consulting. Firstly, this is a pretty huge topic, but generally, library consulting involves implementing or improving library systems or designs, and that can include, the actual equipment in the library and also libraries planning space as well as staff, a variety of different things. So usually this type of consulting work is done by a third party and hired by the library, outsourced. Now, as I said, this occupation covers a lot of ground, and consultants can do a lot of different work. So I'm just going to focus on a couple of specific areas that were of interest to me. So firstly, in the field of automation, um, this is one of the major services that libraries seek outside consultants, outside help. So, of course, all libraries to one degree or another will have automation systems. Some of the automation technologies being implemented in libraries today include things like the self-service check-in and check-out machines. Um, Both the libraries I work at have those. And then, of course, the integration of barcode and then increasingly RFID technologies. Beyond that, consultants may work to implement the physical equipment to improve the workflow in a library. So things like, book drop containers, conveyors, things like that, that work to improve the overall efficiency of moving library materials about, and then the staff time that goes in to checking in materials, checking out, etc. So consultants can act in several different capacities here. Some might actually be the vendors themselves and sell the equipment to the library, and some may just be an intermediary that will assist in the implementation, and they'll get the equipment from another party. Another major area of consulting work, of course, involves the area of space planning in the library and design of floor space. Um, this can be separate or in conjunction with the actual architectural process. So some consultants may actually be architects themselves. Some simply may assist with the planning of the space in conjunction with the architect for a project. So the first thing these consultants will do is they'll, of course, determine the needs of the library itself and therefore the users. Then they'll go about designing the space for a variety of different things. Obviously, the physical collection, and then all of the other things that you would expect a modern library, whether public or academic, to provide. Um, the several ones I have listed here, you can kind of combine social learning and collaboration into an emerging space in libraries that's known as a learning commons, and I'm going to come back to that later at the end of the presentation. But I wanted to also mention in this little design here, you see this touch point idea where you'll have an area near the entrance of the library where you can kind of visually see everything in the building at once, which I thought was a pretty good idea. It opens the space up, of course, and the patron can see everything available to them, in one viewpoint. So one of the reasons that I picked this area of work is that one of the libraries where I work, the Villa Park Public Library, they're actually going through this process right now. So they've hired an architectural firm, an outside consultant to evaluate the needs of the library building and decide how to move forward, to better serve their users. So you can kind of tell here they're expanding the library northward by about a third of its existing space. They're going to add about 30% of the existing space. Some changes they're going to make are, which I think is common in public libraries today, is to put the youth services and the circulation department on the first floor, and then all of the adult services, reference desks, etc., on the second floor. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. A similar referendum failed back in 2007 for the library. Um, So another thing that the consultants are doing now is helping raise community awareness. They've hosted a couple different open houses where the public can come in, express their views, take a look at what's already been proposed. So I think that's a pretty unique role in the LIS world of assisting libraries meeting their needs in the future. Um, so lastly, I wanted to talk about this idea of a learning commons, which this has been around since the 90s, but it's obviously changed a lot. So the Learning Commons it's a relatively new library space in response to Web 2.0 and overall students' diminishing need for actual print materials. So more and more, of course, students are accessing digital resources in their research. So a lot of these learning commons are more geared toward academic libraries, although you could also see their application in school libraries and also public libraries geared toward teens and then school age students as well. So I think it's an interesting idea. It's more of a bottom-up collaborative approach to learning where a class may meet digitally, without the professor there hands-on. Um, so kind of redefines how to use the library space as the need for physical space for the collection decreases. So all these things I thought were pretty interesting, especially because this kind of applies to one of the libraries that I work at. I wanted to take a look at it more deeply. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation.